good, my people? We're going to break it down. It will not be my typical recap because it's been a day since it came out. So I figure you have already seen the show. So let's look at this more as commentary to what happened in this episode. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. 500 is the like goal, and subscribe to the channel if you are into more Spartacus House of Ashur. So we know where we picked off last week, and we knew that Chorus was going to go batshit crazy when he figured out exactly who the people were that killed Opera. But it's not just him, it is the son of his wife. She is good friends with Opera, and we see her dancing in the water like she's on some type of Beyonce concert, the way she's up in the water. All bad and feeling all upset about his death. And the husband calls her because he's like, listen, I know why you cared about him. I know what he was providing you with. And she was like, what did you say to me? And he was like, you know what, I'm not even going to discuss this right now. I'm not going to have, it's not like your friendship was there. It was because he was providing you with all of these ladies that were eating you out, that we have already seen in the other episodes. But convinced by his daughter at this particular time, this is when he says that he is willing to look over the auction and just go out there and be the man of the auction for them. And then we transition to the lead of the show, Achilles. And she's trying to get better. She is trying to get back into good spirits and be the gladiatrix that she is supposed to be. And we have a little bonding moment with her as she rises out from the first time that people have seen her since she was being, messed up in the arena, and they give her basically a gladiatorial salute, right? And it makes her feel more like one of the people. But again, we know that she has an enemy in this situation who is just very jealous of her success and wants the same success for himself. Now, I can understand why he would be like that. Why he's been here longer, he's been training longer, and he still sees that she is some type of novelty. That's the way he looks at her. Like she's not someone who really should be respected in the way that it is going down. It, again, just sets up him having to fight his father and most likely kill his father in the arena because of this situation, or just by the Romans just wanting to have a show like we've seen already happen in the original Spartacus and all that. But we see her go up there and she is just really wants to fight, but she just cannot fight with the messed up hand. The hand is still messed up. She cannot fight. She refuses to just accept the situation that you have to just heal and come back. When we go back and we deal with Ashur and him dealing with Caesar's lady, Cornelia, we see that he just needs enough coin so he can go and get all of the property. Now, we talked about the property in my last video, and we wondered if he still had access to that property. And the fact that they brought this up and they discussed it is something that I'm glad that they did. They could have poo-pooed it, but they put that right on blast and then basically made a whole episode about this situation. And the 25,000 denarii, like to her, it's nothing. She's like, they're not even going to notice that money is gone. They're not going to notice it whatsoever. But, I need you to do me something. And what I need you to do me is to keep pushing the senator to support Caesar's cause. And Ashur, he just goes and obviously he lies about it. You know that he's playing both sides. And eventually it's going to come back to bite him when it's all said and done. Right? And we know that he can't keep playing both sides. He's going to have to pick a side at one point in this show. And we'll see exactly which side he picks. Again, when we're dealing with the gladiatrix, right? When we're dealing with her, we know that in the end, it's just going to come down to what it comes down to. And that is just her causing the fight between the father and the son. And Chorus, star of the episode, 100%. It is all about him. They have to lock this man up because he's kicking so much ass, because he is so enraged about what happened to Operator, that he's willing just to get his hands on anyone, and he wants to get his hands on Cornelia. He has no ill will toward Ashur. Now, we've discussed, did Ashur know about this? Did Ashur set this up just to keep him? And from the way they are playing it, he had nothing to do with it. That is the exact way they're playing it. Now, it could be the twist at the end that somehow he did. There has to be a twist at the end of this that we don't see coming. And him having the same agenda as his so-called counterpart in this show would be one. But that is bitch of a stretch. That would be a huge twist that no one's seen coming. But it may just be a little bit too far-fetched. So it seemed that Ashur did not know, at least Chorus believes him, that he had no idea about what was going on. When we're dealing with Cornelia, once again, and we know that this is not a realistic depiction of the person, because Cornelia didn't meet Caesar until Caesar was already in the Senate, and he was a much older man at the time when they actually met in the real history. But they're using her as somebody to be inside of this place while Ashur is there. But she gets her to spill the beans. And that's what's important here, which basically sets up her death, right? She's not going to be a part of it. She's already, right now, we have been told about how Ashur is very vindictive. And this chick spilled the beans, she talked too much, and in the end, she's going to be killed before this is all said and done. I can't see her making it out. And we see again, once again, another person who wants to make it out. And she is supposed to go off with Cornelia, and that's what she believes is going to happen, to have this better life where she just keeps getting taken by this woman the whole time. In the end, that is not what's going to happen. In the end, she is going to get taken out. We haven't seen anyone been able to leave this show yet and be happy. Everyone people try to leave, something bad happens to them. Same thing's going to happen here. And in the end, for what? Why? Because this chick don't like you? Is that what it's really coming down to? And it just, we have seen, listen, love is the death of duty. And, and we have seen that this is what's going to be the end for every character we have seen so far that gets involved with someone and has some type of feelings for them. They allow those feelings to manipulate them, and this eventually leads to their downfall. And the same thing is going to happen. Now, Cornelia does get Ashur all coked up and out of his mind. He's acting like he's on ecstasy, but it's supposed to be cocaine from what I'm thinking that it is. And while he's having sex with her, he's just dreaming about the true love of his life the whole time. And again, love is going to get the best of him because he just wants Viridia, and he does not want her because Viridia represents everything he could be. And that's what it's about. So they get to the auction. And listen, I told you that the necklace was going to come into play when it was all said and done. That how they were going to find out that they were behind it would be the necklace. Now, I did say that it's a good possibility it was going to be on the little man's belt, but I put my claim that it wouldn't be, and it'd be around the neck and not worn as a trophy, and that is exactly what it was. And that is how we see exactly how this goes. Now, again, I still think there's a chance that this is all a big setup, but we shall see before this season is up. But Viridia is talking to Ashur, and I said he's being too public with it, right? You can't just keep being public. I've said this in other videos. He's being too public with his affection for her. He doesn't have the status, nor does he have the money. Obviously, the man we see is broke, right? To go out here and do it. And there's no way that this was going to be accepted in the end. There's just no way they were going to allow him to move these pawn pieces. She is a major pawn piece right now, a major pawn piece. That solidifies a lot of Pompey's struggle that he needs, and there's no way that he is going to get the best of that. Not this impossible. But we see in this that Cornelia once again is in there and she is talking, doing a thing basically, as she always does, just talking her shit. But when she's talking her shit, this time to Kasudia spills the bean on Ashur and says he's working against you basically. And she does not take this kindly because as the bidding goes and Ashur is able to secure this, we see in the end, and listen, the crowd is all about it. He's all happy. Yeah, 27,000 denarii. Viridia is like, he's got some dough. She's all happy. And it seems like everything is going his way. But in the end, he gets exposed because the House of Caesar comes and it's like, we are not backing you anymore. We're not doing it. And they're like, well, can you pay? You know, this is kind of like back in the day when you would see somebody and they would have a benefits card and they have all this food in the grocery store, all this food on there, you know, and they're swiping their benefit card and it keeps getting denied. That's what this reminded me of. Like, goddamn, so embarrassing. And then they've already rang everything up. So now they got to unring everything and get it all out of there. And people are waiting behind them. That's what this reminded me of. Someone going through that whole situation right here and being embarrassed of this whole situation. And I just felt bad for him, but it was so obvious that this was going to happen. It was just, there's no way he could do it. Even when he confronts Kasudia about who actually killed Operator, she does not care about that. It means nothing. Like, the friendship was what it was, but the daughter is much more important to her. We've seen her stick up for her daughter, and she is just not going to have this guy be the one to come in there and just start sleeping with his daughter. Now, Tarkan is back for the rematch, right? And we knew that this was going to happen. Now, I had a video and I was going to put it out that what weapons would be better for her to be fighting with. I was going to do the video, and I swear to you that the video said a spear and a buckler on her one hand. And this is before she got her hand hurt, because I was basically trying to figure out how to make it more realistic that she could actually fight these guys with, you know, different weapons and beat them. And that is when I did my research. That's what came up. It was the spear and the buckler shield would be a woman's advantage over a man if they were really going to fight in the arena. And I was going to do the video on it. And god damn it, I never got a chance to do in that video. But this is what we see her actually get when she has the rematch with Tarkan, right? She goes out there. Now, she has reservations of using the spear. And why wouldn't she? When she used the spear last time, from what we know, this is when she killed who we suppose is her daughter, right? So she just gets flashbacks, and that even holds her back. Like, she's still shook by this whole situation. It basically has to come down to a point where she can release it. Because even when she does the work and beats him up, it's her pausing, it's her reflecting, it's her remembering what happened to her daughter that causes her to lose the match once again. And she would have won, and she would have won pretty easy, but I need to see them battle it out a little bit more. Like, I don't like him going so fast with this whole situation, with her rise. And they've done a good job so far of not making that rise too fast. I hope they keep it on that pace. Now, we know that love is the death of everything in this show, and we can see Tarkan going down the exact same path with this chick. We know that this chick will be the demise of him because he just wants to get free so he can free her, and then they go off into the sunset, which is never going to happen. After this, Kasudia makes the plan to get rid of Ashur once and for all because he just doesn't want her around his daughter. And that's just the bottom line. I said he's just being too public about this whole situation. again, it could be a scheme. But when Ashur is confronted and we see them there to kill him, it's pretty obvious he wasn't going to go out like that. It's pretty obvious that he's going to have his men there. Again, which makes me believe that this is a setup in the end to get the senator on his side by exposing what his wife has done. That's what I believe how it's going to go. And this dude's just willing to sacrifice his little midget friends that he doesn't need. We've already known that he already asked Ashur to do that. And Chorus just goes ham on these dudes, whoops the shit out of all of them, except for one, supposedly so that one can go back and tell exactly what happened. But in the end, I think it's set up that he's going to die at the hands of Achillea when it's all said and done, and that is why they have done. The way they frame Chorus here, he looks like goddamn Zeus with the guy with the lightning behind him. But that's my video. You tell me what you thought about this episode. Again, was it the best episode? No, they had to calm it down a little bit, I believe. They had to take it down a notch. It can't just be all balls to the wall, and they did that. So it's not one of the greatest episodes from what they've been doing, but still a solid episode. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.